Hey everyone, welcome back to Jim's Tech Talk Tuesday. I'm with SpliceNet Consulting here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I really appreciate your time. Listen, today I'm going to go in a little bit different direction. I'm going to do a comparison between ChatGPT and my Copilot for Microsoft 365. I'm not going to get into depth with everything that the two of them do. I'm going to give you kind of a very, very high level comparison of them. I'm going to talk about the security between the two of them. And then I'm also going to talk about some real world examples and why you should consider using Copilot for Microsoft 365 over ChatGPT. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First up, we're going to talk about Copilot for Microsoft 365. I got my notes over here, so if I keep looking over here, don't be surprised, right? It was developed by Microsoft, right? And so there is some elements of the ChatGPT engine because they were involved in the OpenAI initiative from the beginning. And so the difference here is that it is integrated with your applications like Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, Teams, right? And one of the things it does is it can look at your data in your Microsoft 365. And I'm going to stop right there, okay? It was designed to enhance the productivity of the people that are using Microsoft 365. Now, ChatGPT, OpenAI, developed by them. Lots of interesting stories around OpenAI, but it was developed as a versatile conventional AI model, okay? AI engine, right? It's great for answering questions, great for generating documents or text for you, right? I would say it's kind of like a Leatherman, right? The Leatherman tool, or maybe a Swiss Army knife. Okay, it does a lot of different things, and it's really good at doing a lot of different things, but it's not great at one, right? Whereas more of a Copilot for Microsoft 365 is really good for the things that you need to do in your day-to-day work because it integrates with your applications and draws on your data that you're using in your Microsoft 365. So that's the big difference right there, is that Copilot integrates with Microsoft 365, thus the name Copilot for Microsoft 365. And I don't want you to get confused when I talk about Copilot. There's a bunch of different Copilots out there that Microsoft has developed. We're talking specifically about the Copilot for Microsoft 365. So ChatGPT really doesn't have a focus, okay? It's generic. It's meant to be that way, so it could serve everybody, in a bunch of different ways, right? But the thing is, you're never going to get with it is that it's never going to draw on your own data. It's just going to draw on the repositories that it has access to on the internet, right? Now, categories to think about when it comes to this, okay? Cost. Okay, ChatGPT is free, right? You can pay for the ChatGPT 4.0. Is that what it is? I think it's 4.0. But you're still in a generic environment, right? Whereas Copilot for Microsoft 365 is $30 a month per user for its ability to dig down into the stuff that you work with every day and know about that stuff every day. It's going to create Copilot for Microsoft 365 is going to create that data for you, right? It's going to draw on your existing information, the documents that you have, the emails you have, the meetings that you've had. It's going to draw on, it's going to summarize a meeting for you, for example. Whereas a ChatGPT, it has no sense of that for you, right? And so where a Copilot is definitely, and it's ingrained in your Microsoft 365. And again, you can do great documents with ChatGPT. You can do it, on the fly, but you're going to be doing it in your ChatGPT, right? You're not going to be doing it in your Word application. So you got to copy and paste. And when you copy and paste, you're going to lose formatting on it. You're going to have to reformat it when you put it back into your Microsoft Word or whatever that is, right? So that's a big benefit. It takes time. When you do a document in Word using Copilot for Microsoft 365, beautiful formatting, beautiful styles and so on and so forth are going to be used, great bullet points and stuff like that. And you're not going to use it because it is in your Microsoft Word. If you like it, great, you can keep it. If you don't like it, you can regenerate it, but it's doing it in Microsoft Word, so there's no extra steps of copying and pasting. So I'm going to give you a couple examples, right? So let's talk about a couple of real world examples, right? So if I ask Copilot for Microsoft 365 to give me a table in a Word document of the states, their capitals, and their populations, it's going to generate a nice table in that Word document, in that Excel spreadsheet, in that PowerPoint slide deck. It's going to make a nice table in there for you, okay? And make it the way you want it to, and make it customizable for you. So it's going to leave you with a nice platform to kind of launch from, to edit further, right? Whereas a ChatGPT, it's going to create that same table more than likely. But the problem is you're going to have to copy and paste it. Okay. You won't be able to actually just copy it from Excel and paste it into Word and have it look the same way, or copy it into PowerPoint into Word, and look the same way, right? There's some continuity that's lost, and that's time, that's productivity. And the AI engine is supposed to help you be more productive, right? Not give you part of the job and make you do more. Here's the other thing. Let's talk about security. Okay. ChatGPT, you're building its algorithm. Okay. Let's face it. You're building its algorithm. Your people, your staff that work for your organization could be putting stuff in there that's confidential information. And do you want that? Do you know what they're putting in there? All right. Because that is a public engine. Even if you're paying for it, it's building that algorithm in the public engine. And the answers that it gives you, or the data, the questions you put into it, could be used to answer someone else's question later on. Whereas a Copilot for Microsoft 365, on the other hand, what's great about it is that it is your own server, if you will. Okay. I'm going to make it sound very simplistic, and it's not exactly like this. But you've got your email in your Microsoft 365. You got your documents in your Microsoft 365. You got your meetings and calendar and all that stuff in this Microsoft 365 bubble. Your AI engine, Copilot Microsoft 365, lives in that bubble and draws on all of this data to help you do what you're trying to accomplish. And if it needs to, it can go out of that bubble to the internet and find more information for you, right? But it's not building an engine outside of it. And so your data is secure. The other thing about it is that if you don't have access to the data in your Microsoft 365, your Copilot for Microsoft 365 doesn't have access to the data. So it respects your security. All right. And so obviously with ChatGPT, it doesn't really understand the idea of security. It just answers questions that you give it. You can't say draw on this document. Collaboration, man, here's one thing I think that is probably worth its weight in gold when it comes to the benefit of Copilot for Microsoft 365. I can have a Teams meeting. I can record that Teams meeting, and then I can not be there for that Teams meeting and have it recorded. And then I can draw upon the data in that meeting, what was said, the details of the meeting. What are our action items? What's a summary? What do I have to do? What does somebody else have to do? What did they say about this details of this information that the meeting was about? What was relevant? What are my next actions for this particular objective of this meeting? What should I do next, right? ChatGPT, it's not going to help you there, right? And so unfortunately, that's just the way it goes, right? And again, I'm not putting ChatGPT down. I think it's a great kind of Swiss Army knife, but again, I'm looking for things that are going to help me ongoing, right? And if I say, hey, show me all my emails to Copilot for Microsoft 365, I say, show me all my emails from a particular person and summarize what I should be doing next, it can do that. Or show me all my availability for the next week so I can send that to somebody, or send somebody my availability. Instead of typing out a whole email, looking and cross-referencing my calendar, I just open my Copilot for Microsoft 365, and I ask it, and it does it. Whereas a ChatGPT has no idea of my calendar. Got it? Cool. So summary, right? And so I try to keep this short as possible. I'm already always over. You guys know me. I love talking about this stuff. So I don't want to train somebody else's algorithm. If I'm going to benefit from the stuff, if somebody's going to benefit from the stuff I'm putting in an AI engine, I want it to be me and my organization. I want it to learn about me and what I'm doing and my data and my realm of responsibility, right? And so ChatGPT just can't do that for you, right? If I want to do a PowerPoint slide deck based on a document that's in my Microsoft 365, I can do that with Copilot for Microsoft 365, but I can't do that for ChatGPT, right? So there's a lot of different ways to go, but there is one big difference. Copilot for Microsoft 365 costs. That is that. There's no discounts on it currently. It's $30 a month, but you got to pay for it as an annual subscription at $360 a year per user. Big downfall, especially for nonprofits, which we work with a lot. That's very expensive. Heck, that can be very expensive for any small business. So what I recommend is you get with me, you do a roadmap, all right, session with me, and I can tell you how you can use Copilot for Microsoft 365 based on some conversation that we have. I can demonstrate it for you. And then also we can kind of put together what we should be doing, what you should be doing kind of to ease into it, right? So I call these roadmaps. And down at the bottom right here, my email address down at the top, right there. Over here is a QR code. So by all means, scan the QR code or shoot me an email so that you can get a free Copilot roadmap from me. Love to do them. They're fun to do. Don't charge a dime for them. Just my way to help out any way that I can. So listen, if you like this video, if it was helpful, I hope it was, share it, like it, comment on it. Listen, these algorithms from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, they really like it when these are shared. They really like the comments. The likes are appreciated, but they don't use them as much, right? So it's the share and the comments that really help us out. If you have questions about Copilot for Microsoft 365, or if I got something wrong, I'm not always right? If I got something wrong, make a comment and I'll respond to the comments. So listen, thanks for joining me on Jim's Tech Talk Tuesday with SpliceNet Consulting. I really appreciate your time, and I hope this was valuable for you.